Let me first say this is the first I've heard of it. I evidently didn't get my invitation to the party. I would not have gone had I gotten my invitation. But let me just say that that obviously it is those type of events, as at least the way in which you described it, that could lead to become super spreader events. And so, if you have a couple hundred of people at a party, whether it's in Jackson or Oxford or Starkville or Hattiesburg or Cleveland or any of our other college towns, then it certainly runs the risk of becoming a super spreader event, and that's certainly concerns me. And again, I don't know anything about the specifics. This is the first I'd heard of it, but we are strongly encouraging Mississippians to continue to pay attention, to not allow the gains that we've made, really, quite frankly, over the last 8 weeks. I mean, we have seen, I look at these numbers every single day, first thing, or even some days now we're back to a number that is small enough where we're actually getting at least preliminary data late at night. And so we've got to continue to remain very, very focused on slowing the spread and reducing the spread of this virus. Think about where we are today. Think about the fact that we're, for most kids, in week 5 or week 6, or some even up in Alcorn County, week 7 of kids being in the classroom. We've actually had our college campuses open now for 2 or 3 or 4 weeks in some instances. And while we've certainly had some transmission, overall transmission has been declining. We want that to continue. We want our kids to stay in school. We've had our first college football game at the University of Southern Mississippi on Thursday. We have other college football games coming up late this month. We have had high school sporting events occur, and we've had to adjust the way in which we do it. We've had to reduce and limit the crowd size. It has not been perfect, but it's been a lot better than over half the states that have had none of those things happen. And so what I would say to all Mississippians is the reason that the numbers are coming down is not anything that I have done or that we have done. It is because the people of Mississippi have bought into doing what's right and taking that extra step of wearing a mask, of staying socially distanced, of adhering to the rules. And for every instance where individuals choose to make poor decisions that lead to more spread, the more difficult it makes life for everyone else.
Dr. Dobbs, what are the health risks, even if you are outdoors, but hundreds of people are around you shoulder to shoulder? Did you hear about this party?
I didn't. I've heard other things too. It really makes me angry. How selfish it is. Right now, we're just making progress, and we're trying to let nursing home folks get visited. We have people who are dying. Schools want to stay in session. Colleges want to stay open. And just to have such little patience and to have such little restraint that you can't do. I mean, if someone's having a party, don't go. And if you're putting up a party, know that you're breaking the law. We spoke with President Hudson, I think it was last week, and then the other college presidents at several places, and they're committed that if people go to parties or host parties, it is a violation of the honor code of the university, and there will be repercussions. So I hope it doesn't come to really undermine us in our long-term progress, but I'm disappointed.